What up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. I'm going to keep this one nice and short because you already know about Off the Record. If you get a ticket for anything, big or small, don't plead guilty. Call Off the Record. They'll set you up with a qualified attorney in the jurisdiction where you got pulled over. They'll fight that ticket for you, and more often than not, they will keep those points off of your record. And if they don't, you don't pay. It's that easy. Go to offtherecord.com/TST or use code TST25 to get 10% off all legal services from Off the Record. Again, that's offtherecord.com/TST or code TST25 on the Off the Record app. All right, in studio with us today is my old pal, Brett Berk. Brett is a career automotive journalist who's written for Road and Track, Car and Driver, Rob Report, Motor Trend. He's written for Esquire. He's written for the New York Times. He's written for the Washington Post. He's written for a lot of places. He's a true career automotive journalist who takes his spring times in Los Angeles and takes the opportunity to visit us and regale us with tales of supercars and Rolls Royces. We love him. He's in studio. It's Brett Berk on the Smoking Tire Podcast. Let's go. All right. We exist on the internet. We're here. Brett Berk is here. Hello.
Hi, Matt. Nice
Hi.
to see you.
Isn't it fun to say hi after you've been talking to someone for 15 minutes?
Yes, it is. I mean,
break the wall.
right, you have to do it for the formality.
In a rolling up in a very U car, the Verde green Scandal.
Yeah, Verde Escandalo.
Scandalous green Revuelto, which is a pretty good time, those cars.
Oh, yeah. I'm having a good time in it.
Does that one work properly?
Yeah, so
It
far.
does?
The
Okay.
only thing it's saying that it needs like a major service and an oil change or something like that. But I think that's pretty much anytime
probably
you get
does.
into the car.
Yeah, that's right. That's fine. That doesn't. Yeah, mine. I did a lot of miles. It worked perfect.
Yeah.
Till the very last day.
Oh,
And then it had a
stranded you.
it fucking just spun around and turned into a green slime ball real quick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to pull the emergency door releases to open
Oh, that's
doors.
exciting.
Yeah,
I feel like I never get to do things like that.
Non-responsive.
Oh,
Yeah,
that didn't work?
The emergency ones did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I also noticed while editing it that the driver window one touch up down stopped working, remember?
Driver window, one touch up down, incredibly intermittent.
It's a lot of touch, actually.
Dude, I have a lot
Multi-touch.
of problems with one-touch windows in a variety of cars.
Yeah.
They bounce.
Yeah.
They hit the...
Right, the Revuelto, I mean, it has to go like down a little bit to open.
Yeah.
And it kind of doesn't go down fast enough for opening the door. So it's always like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to break the window
it catches
off.
itself a little bit. You have to like wait for it. Yeah.
Yeah, my boyfriend was like, first of all, it took him a while to figure out how to open it, even though I instructed him. It's challenging.
It is a weird one.
Yeah.
Not quite as weird as a McLaren 750 because you have to do
right.
the reach around, you know.
like inside
people,
the-
they don't
inside the
understand.
car? Yeah.
They do not get that one, yeah. But it does take some getting used to. But fucking talk about, like, electrical hiccups aside, talk about, like, most improved car ever from
the
Aventador to
yeah.
this.
Yeah, I never liked the Aventador. I know that was like an unpopular opinion.
No, I like how it looked. I like how it sounded.
Yeah.
And by the time you got to the end, the SVJ and the Ultimate, they had kind of figured it out. But holy shit, what a better car this is.
Yeah, no, it's really drivable.
And comfortable and like handles well.
Yeah,
like,
things work, right?
All
Yeah.
the things.
The shifting is not like chiropractic.
Dual
right?
clutch is so nice. You can have your single clutch automated. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
what
I
a treat.
did this like Lamborghini Heritage Drive. I think it was a couple of years ago where we drove all the V12s from the beginning. You know,
I mean, that's a pretty
50,
fun day no matter what. Yeah,
it was really good. But they had Murcielago with
Put the accent in the right place.
Murcielago?
Murcielago.
Yeah.
Ciel.
Murcielago.
Yeah.
With like an early automated transmission, and it was pretty brutal. It was the Versace edition, so that was
Really?
exciting. Yeah.
Was it the one that had the one white seat and one black seat?
I don't think so.
I knew a guy
It
that
has,
had one of them.
Greek, the Greek key motif all around it, a Medusa's head on the seat embossed.
There might have been multiple fashion houses. I remember the Versace distinctly.
Yeah.
But there was another one where they were showcasing that they could do it
in two different.
a two-tone interior, left side, right side.
I mean,
It's
it could have
insane.
been possible. They'll do
Yeah.
whatever you want, right?
Maybe it was Versace. I don't know. Is that it? Versace.
The one I had was white.
This one's-
I think they only made them in white and black.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you could have done the two-tone interior.
I believe you.
It was weird, but fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, with that like Egyptian-y. What is that? How would you describe that Frank Lloyd Wright looking pattern?
It's a maze.
It's a
like
maze,
it's
yeah,
a stitched
yeah.
maze on the center
Geometric
console.
You're the
maze.
Minotaur.
It's actually like kind of a cool pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than if it was like the Louis, the Louis thing. Oh man, have you seen how much they're exposing like Louis shit is made in China? It's pretty fun, actually. It's really a good time.
But then it's finished in Italy or something. Someone sews one tag
Assembled.
on.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like finised in Italy, manufactured in Italy.
Final assembly. it's
Final
called.
assembly.
That's where you put the price
Your
tag
parents
on
have
it.
to put it together.
Yeah. Shinola. What's that? How's life?
Life is good. I've been out here on the West Coast since the start of March.
Okay.
So the annual winter sojourn, which is, as we
It's
say,
the I have to get the fuck out of here.
Yes, exactly.
Ides
Right.
of March.
Of New York. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, it just gets to be too much, the winter. And it's nice to take a break.
Yeah.
And it's great to be out here.
So have you lined up like 8 press cars in a row?
Yep.
Okay, so
Yeah.
give me
You want me to walk you
give me
through?
the lineup.
Okay,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
try to remember.
For those who don't know, Brett's high fucking class, so he doesn't drive no slouches. I'm not expecting to hear the newest Corolla hybrid in this lineup.
There was not a Corolla hybrid.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, first was Audi RS6 wagon.
Okay.
Avant, whatever.
Was it the new like special
Yeah,
one?
the new special
Zach
one
drove
with
that
the extra
one.
performance or whatever, right?
The crazy graphics.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Graphics are
I love-
expensive.
I love
yeah.
a wagon.
Yeah.
Roma Spider. Ferrari Roma Spider.
I have been bugging them about that.
Oh,
okay, it's
all right.
time
Well, sorry. Write that down.
Add to the list, Rome.
I guess it is here on this coast.
Maybe it just arrived.
Yeah, the
I don't know.
whole we'll let you know when it comes in seems to have fallen through the cracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
That's
else was
a pretty
in
good
there?
one, right?
Yeah, that was a good one. There was, let's see, Aston Martin Vantage.
Okay.
And the Vanquish,
Oh, the Vanquish
Yeah.
is here?
I guess.
Habibi.
Oh, you went on
I'm
the
gonna get in
launch.
trouble with all
Matt,
the
you went on the launch,
manufacturers.
so they're like, he's
Not the
driven.
Vanquish.
You didn't drive? I thought you did.
I went on DB12.
Oh, you went on DB12. Right.
I did not go on the
You didn't
Vanquish.
drive the Vanquish.
Yeah,
My bad.
I had those back to back, and I hadn't driven either one.
Really?
Yeah.
Are
and-
you embargoing yourself if you give us a quick?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
no.
have driven a DB12.
I have driven a DB12.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Vanquish is a step up from DB12.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
is it?
Yes, it really is. Like
Yeah.
I feel like they've been working on this thing for a while of having like distinctive personalities to their vehicles, and I felt like this is the most distinctive I've ever detected in Aston between Vantage and Vanquish. Vanquish is like really like a crusher. you
Is
know?
it?
Yeah.
I mean, the DB12 is substantially faster than it looks. That thing fucking hauls ass. That is a fast car.
Yeah.
Vantage is like actually too much power for its wheelbase, probably, which is a good time.
Yeah.
But it's rowdy,
Yeah.
really rowdy.
Yeah, it's a
so this
rowdy
is like
sports car.
even up from that.
Yeah, but more GT. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like, I mean, it's fast, and I think it has a higher top speed. Not that we're ever going to have a chance to experiment with that. Like,
Yeah.
no one's going 218 miles an hour on.
So speak for yourself.
Sorry. Right.
Someone will.
Somebody
yeah.
will. Somebody will.
Some intrepid YouTuber.
Look, I hit VMAX in the
Yeah.
Vanquish.
A dude who's someone who is worth approximately $800 million and then decides they want to be a YouTuber.
Right.
Will die attempting that stunt, probably.
It could happen.
Yeah. Okay, but it's good, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I really enjoyed it. I
Damn,
actually
is it
really,
pretty
really liked it.
looking
Really. That was kind of the spec that I had, I think, with the goldish wheels.
And this
Bronze
sort of, is it a reflection that we're looking at in this photo of the red one, or is that double scallop in the side of the door actually real?
Oh.
Can I look at a different photo?
Yeah.
Are my eyes playing tricks on me?
It looks like a double scallop.
I think
but
it's a double scalp. I think.
It is, right?
You mean how it kind of bows upward?
Like
In the door
below the door handle, it looks
From
like
the-
it
from the fake
bows
vent?
twice. Yeah, from
I
one
think
below and one above the
that
fake
might be a
vent. But is that
reflection.
just
Let me
reflection?
find a photo.
Okay. They made it so shiny that you actually can't tell what you're looking at.
Let's see what
That red is fucking. That's
Yeah.
nice though.
it's a good looking car.
Yeah. And is it really? It's basically the same wheelbase as DB12, right? It's not.
I think
is
it's
it bigger?
longer.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's like several inches longer. It's really big. It's like really wide and really long.
It looks big on this 90-degree side profile shot. All of a sudden, it looks big.
It's a big.
Well, the new
big-
DB12
Bentley
was
GT
big.
or bigger than Bentley GT?
That is a really good question. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly.
Back
I didn't
seat
measure
usable
them.
or not usable?
I'm not even sure there is one.
Oh, really?
Maybe you could put some stuff
There
back
is not.
There's not a back seat.
No.
Damn. So this is going for Ferrari 812. That's where we're at here.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to compete with Ferrari.
I was up on the mountain yesterday. I had a little drive in this thing called a Theon, which we can talk about later. It's a Resto Mod 911.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like something from Scientology.
You have to get rid of them.
We could have a
Come into
whole
our room.
episode on how hard it is to name a car and people who should maybe turn right when they turn left in their naming plans. But there was we were up in there and I saw 5 Ferrari 812s, different ones.
Wow.
There was more 812s than I've ever seen in one day.
They
were
crazy.
all
Was
out
it
yesterday.
The 812 Club?
I don't think so. They all seem to show up separately
Interesting.
to this
Well,
restaurant.
That is a
they're not
fun
dreamers.
automobile. That's an
Oh
exciting
man,
thing.
812s are all right. Yeah, except like
That car scares me.
they're so fast.
Yes.
They're
Also
so
that.
fucking good. They're so fast. But I'm a little short on leg room, and it's a huge car
Yeah.
to have so little leg room, even though I understand why it has so little leg room.
And did you drive the Dodeci Cilindri?
No, not yet. Is it here?
I don't
think
know.
I
I drove it in like Luxembourg. Or
Yeah, I
something
didn't
like
go
that.
on the
Yeah.
launch. Some Pund.
Oh, yeah, I was there
Pund
with
took
Dan,
that
right,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. That would have been the one. That's the one where one of the ones where I think because I do the Smoking Tire and Road and Track,
Yeah.
they send a lot of invites to me knowing
Right.
I could get a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And I think at the magazine they got like a little annoyed that
Yeah.
I was being invited instead of going through the channels. And so I
we
think
both
they
run
put
into
a
this.
stop
We
to
both
that.
run into this problem. I mean, I freelance for 20 places.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The invites all come to me, and then it's sort of like, well, who invited you? Oh, the manufacturer.
This is-
Like, do you guys want the story, or was also someone else?
This has happened quite a few times. Yeah, no shit. So no back seat. There it is. Carbon strut. Although doesn't that? It looks like there could
There's
be a
some
world
there's
in
some-
which that's
there's
not
some
there.
scalloped area,
Yeah,
I think,
like
that sort of
The
looks
Euro
like a
spec.
back seat.
It's got a cage in it.
Right. For your dog or your child.
So rowdy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of power. Like what is like 900 horsepower or something like that.
Is it 900?
Something 800 and something. And it's just rear wheel drive, and so yeah, it's a lot of power.
Handful, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh god. It
But
looks
it's
nice.
really pretty.
It does.
Really, really pretty.
Keep scrolling through the gallery, Zach. I want to see more
their new
angles.
interior, it's just, I mean, all their cars is such a huge step up
yeah,
from the
yeah.
other ones. It's now justifies the price.
I'm so I think Aston probably more than any other company though. I'm sad about the digital cluster. They made such a pretty any
That
car they ever
backwards-
made
backwards sweep
Yeah,
in.
the backwards tack. They did some jewelry ass clusters.
Yeah.
and it
Wow.
makes me so sad that is a thing that's gone.
Yeah.
maybe it will come back one day. I don't know.
Is the whole engine set behind front axle? Wow, no wonder the car's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet
Jeez.
that thing keeps cool. I bet that's got some airflow.
Look at those airboxes.
God, what a nice. All right. And how
Yeah.
much was that? Start with 4.
I think it starts at 4 something.
Starts
I think
with
the one that I was driving was much higher than that.
The back is good.
Yeah,
the
the
back
back
they
is
did
good.
from that Valor thing.
Yeah.
yeah, that looks really
Those
nice.
few offices, pretty good.
Starts at 427.
I saw a video of Gordon Ramsay rolling up to one of his England restaurants in his Valor.
Yeah.
and that thing looks insane on the street. Like
Yeah.
I saw it at Goodwood,
Yeah.
and like okay, and that
Right.
it was beautiful and whatever on a stand. Surrounded by fucking Fiats and shit, that thing looks nuts. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That car is
No,
so
it's
cool.
really a lot.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay,
they've
so
been
of
here-
that lineup, what excites or excited you the most?
Well, let me finish up the rest of them.
didn't
Yeah,
even
there's
finish.
still more. No.
Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No,
Keep going.
sorry, yeah.
So then we have Revolto.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but before that, there was I drove the ID Buzz, which I hadn't driven.
Guys, we got to take a quick break from the show because we are supported today by Cremo. Listen, I have been going to the gym before work, and the exercise is great, but managing the sweat and potential odors, it's a challenge. So I am super stoked to have found Cremo. They have the greatest deodorant. You deserve freedom from smelling bad, and Cremo's deodorant is so delicious. It is designed for a 48-hour odor protection. Now, I don't really recommend 48 hours of not showering, but if you have to, you want to have that Cremo. Everything they make is barber grade and made with pride, professionalism, and passion to guarantee you quality without compromise. But what it's really about is the signature scents, and they sent me the two newest ones. There's the Italian Bergamot. It's bright and fresh. And then there's the Palo Santo, which is deep, smoky, and refined, which is the one that I have been using for the last few days. Man, the Palo Santo is nice. It's smooth. It doesn't leave any residue or whiteness. And I can kind of enjoy a hint of that scent throughout the day. It is, man, they call it multi-layered scent technology. Honestly, it just smells really good. It's a quality, professional grade product, and I like it. I like applying it, and I like smelling it throughout the day, and it does what it's supposed to do. Covers up the bad things and leaves good ones. You don't have to deal with colognes or anything like that. It's just a hint. You can head over to Target or Target.com to find Cremo's new line of deodorants and antiperspirants in the Italian Bergamot and Palo Santo scents. You, again, can get them at Target or Target.com. And thanks to Cremo for sponsoring today's show. Folks, today's show is also supported by Reatta. Reatta is a new telehealth mental health service, right? And I have been seeing a therapist, the same therapist actually, for about 16 years. But I've had friends and my wife who have had to find new therapists. And that process on its own can be incredibly stressful, time-consuming, deflating, and discouraging, right? So Reatta is here. Right? It's a telehealth service. And for the record, I have seen the same therapist for this long, but I see them over FaceTime. So it's fundamentally telehealth anyway, even though it's just with the same person. And telehealth has solved a lot of things. It's made mental health care more convenient and accessible for millions of people who may not live in urban hubs where lots of services are available. You could be anywhere. However, critical challenges such as finding the right therapist and scheduling appointments, not to mention the cost, still keep a lot of people from getting the care they need. I know it is expensive and scheduling is hard. This type of service is great. Reatta is on a mission to make high-quality mental health care from a licensed professional easy, affordable, and flexible for everyone. They take most major insurance plans. The average copay is only $15 a session, and you can now get the quality care you need when you need it from anywhere at a price you can afford. But Reatta is not just affordable. They stick with you throughout the journey, making sure you get the best therapy and that you're making progress. Each provider is carefully vetted and chosen for their experience, so you'll always know you're in the hands of a quality provider. Of course, as normal, Reatta starts by asking you a few questions about what's important to you, and then provides a list of providers who match your preferences, and you can schedule your preferred time, meet with them as soon as the next day. So try it right now. Just see how it goes. What could be the worst thing? And if you've ever thought about going to therapy, but you don't know how to start, like how to even find a therapist, this is a great way to dip your toe in the water and just see if the benefits of talk therapy can work for you this way for less money and more convenience. So you can go to Reatta.com, that's RULA.com/tire, RULA.com/tire for convenient therapy that's covered by insurance. And thank you to Reatta for sponsoring today's episode.
Let me finish up with the rest of them. Yeah, there's still more. No.
Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No,
Keep going.
sorry, yeah.
So then we have Revolto.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but before that, there was I drove the ID Buzz, which I hadn't driven. Right. Put that on your
Damn it,
list.
There's one around the corner from me that's already been crashed or hit. It looks like it got hit, and I feel bad because everyone waited so long for that car anyway.
Yeah, like
to get a
11
door.
years, right, yeah.
Oh my god!
But when that happens, like you see a concept car and then you see the car come out and then you first start seeing them on the street and the metal. Oh man, it's so cool. The first time you see one crashed, it gets real, doesn't
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Like
You're like, okay.
it's like
that
it's
thing's here now.
artwork until you see one that's been hit and then you
Right.
go, oh, that's actually just a car. You know, like that shit.
Right. Some
There's
schmuck
some
was
cars.
driving it, and some other schmuck drove into it.
Yeah, some shapes like more so than others. Like I think I remember the first time I saw like a Z8 that had been run into, and I was like, "Oh, it's ruined." Like my mental image of it as this perfect thing was ruined. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
The
so,
ID Buzz
ID Buzz.
crashed. Doesn't look so good.
Right. Looks bad. Crashed apparently.
Looks good though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good looking van.
But it
Yeah,
drives
it's big.
just like a regular ass minivan, basically, right?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
quick and it's electric, so it has that going for it or whatever. That is out of all this, I haven't even finished the list, but out of everything that I've driven, I've been here, that is the vehicle that got the most attention.
For sure.
Yeah. People and every single kind of person, every single category of person was like thrilled. Everyone was like, is that the new bus?
Yeah.
And is that the electric one? Every single person asked that.
I saw Fred Armisen driving one in West LA
fits.
like a month ago, and then 2 days later he's in the commercial for it.
Oh, right.
And that's the one he's driving is either like the press car they use for the commercial,
Yeah.
or maybe they gave him one for doing the commercial.
Right.
But it like lined up like they look dope on the street.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
they're cool.
It
and
stands out. It's
some of
neat.
the color combos are really sick.
Yeah, this one was blue and white. It's a little Tonka, you know what I mean? But of
course it
but
is.
Yeah, and the interior is kind of cheap, and because it's like this first edition one's like 70-something grand. Or something
it's also
like
bigger
that.
than I was expecting.
Yeah,
In
it's
person,
big.
I was like, this is quite a big car.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
because
big.
it's not actually cab over. It's this weird visual illusion that
Yeah.
totally works. So where from the outside it looks cab over.
Yeah.
But same thing as the Aston and the Ferrari to set the whole fucking engine behind
Yeah.
the thing.
Right.
You end up with this giant
Really long nose. Yeah.
car. Yeah. You can't sell an actual cab over truck to the public now. It's like. Dude, my wife drives around a Delica. There are reasons
Yeah.
that you
Right.
can't sell those anymore. Like, that's mad shady. Your feet are the crumple zone.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think they have a shorter version in Europe,
Yeah.
but we get the longer version.
You know what I saw? I flew through Charles de Gaulle, whatever, a month ago or so, and they had the ID Buzz cargos at the airport, which
Yeah.
are pretty sick.
Right.
I mean,
You can drive around inside, right?
All airport vehicles should be
Electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend Hydrogen Brian has a whole proposal to make entire airports and shipping ports into hydrogen as well, because you have enough land to put a hydrogen filling station, so
Yeah.
you would never have the problem that like the interstates have.
Right.
And it makes total sense. Well, I've been meaning to add to the list Hydrogen
Right.
Brian on the podcast.
All right, then there was a Continental GT and the Flying Spur that you're driving
Yeah.
this week.
These are the best. The speed hybrids.
Yeah.
I've only driven this one up the road and back, the Spur, but I've driven thousands of miles in the two-door, and wow.
Yeah.
The best.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so nice, so powerful, so luxurious. It kind of has.
What color was that one? The coupe?
The coupe was kind of a purplish indigo
Yeah,
color. Like
I know that. I know
matte
that one.
indigo.
It's a good color, yeah.
Yeah. And this bright orange thing is a lot.
I haven't posted pictures of this because I just got it today.
Yeah.
But I parked it in front of my house earlier because I went home to train, and like 3 cars drove by my house while it was parked there, and every one of them slowed down to like 2 miles an
like,
hour
what
as
in
they
the-
rolled by the
Yeah.
car. Like,
But it looks like there's road construction. Like, it looks like it is safety sign orange.
dude, it's straight
Yeah.
pumpkin,
Yeah.
orange black wheels with
Yeah.
orange black interior.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
It's really a
for the
lot.
successful deer hunter.
Crazy. That would be really funny, actually, if it was like a prize for like a hunting tournament.
Right.
That would be interesting.
That would
Yeah.
be so sick.
Definitely safe.
That would be so sick.
All right, what was after that? Z4 manual, just because I wanted to try
Fun
it.
car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very fun.
Good road
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
road car. I
Yeah.
drove that one around a lot. That was a lot of fun. Coincided with some lovely weather here, so that was lovely. And then I think, Ineos Grenadier.
Uh-huh.
Or
SUV or
Grenadier.
pickup?
SUV.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the better one.
Yeah, I haven't driven the pickup. It's yeah, it's really long. It has a turning circle that's approximately all of eastern Los Angeles, and it doesn't really drive great on the road. I haven't really
Recirculating
taken it-
ball steering.
Yeah,
It's not great. Yeah.
yeah. It's like a Wrangler. But it looks neat. People like it. I've actually seen quite a few of them out here.
They're pretty popular here.
Yeah.
And
what's the price point on that thing? It's like
80 to 120.
Okay, and is that just because it's subsidized by the world's 7th richest man or whatever?
Are you saying why is it so cheap? Is that what you're saying?
Doesn't that seem cheap?
I don't know. I think it's possible they may run lower margins than other people.
Yeah.
I know that if they didn't get that factory deal, because we interviewed their CEO, who was rad, by the way.
Okay.
She was a good 90 minutes. She did not have much of a filter, and it was awesome. I don't know. I mean, Zach, when we drove that truck, it felt, I think, price appropriate, right? It didn't feel like it was overpriced.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Things are manual, but I think we all I don't know. I recognize now that analog is luxury,
right.
And therefore,
that's where we're going.
I'm willing to pay a little more for real buttons and less bullshit.
Yeah, it's got a lot of buttons.
It's got a lot of buttons.
It's like
and
a
less screens.
Cessna or something.
It is much like a plane. Yes.
Dude, how nice was it to drive at night without all that screen in your face, and you could acclimate to the outside world with such great visibility so well.
Yeah,
I've never enjoyed driving anything at night that much. It was like driving
with your vision,
like driving an E30.
Right.
You know, when everything's red inside. Oh, it's the best.
Soothing.
Yeah. You got a pretty good lineup going.
I know,
is there more?
Yeah, the Revuelto, which I'm driving now, and I think then they're coming to pick that up. And I think the last week is a E-Class wagon.
An E-Class wagon. Oh, you really just you just ride that. You glide into the landing.
Exactly. You need something that I can bring my luggage back to the airport, and I can't really put it in the Revuelto unless everything's sitting on Tal's lap.
So I just did a thing. Zach and I went to Charlotte for the opening of this 10/10ths Motorsports Club private racetrack next to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing something about that.
It's badass.
Yeah.
If you're in Charlotte and you like racing,
my sister-in-law's in Charlotte.
This is your new home.
Okay.
Lovely people, lovely track, great time. But I had to fly from there to a road and track event in Texas. And I had to pick up a McLaren 750 in Dallas to drive to the event in Austin and do the event, right? In order to have a suitcase that would satisfy both of those trips, it would not fit in a McLaren 750. So I had to FedEx my second suitcase to the hotel and then send the first suitcase home with that crew. And so I had to do this math out and pack for the second trip first, send it. Yeah, it was like a whole thing. It did work out, though. Yeah, but I had to make a chart of luggage flow.
Yeah. That's smart.
So silly.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes this is what you have to do. You know what I mean? You can't pack one bag for 3 different trips.
You've got racetracks. There was 2 formal events. There's no bueno.
Yeah, sometimes we end up
weather.
with they're not problems, but challenges.
It is. Interesting logistical challenges is what they are. Yeah.
So I think I covered.
Good lineup.
Yeah, I think I covered everything. I'm trying to remember if there's anything that I missed.
Not a bad one
apologies.
in there.
No, yeah, it was a pretty good. It was a pretty good mix.
Pretty good spring for you.
There
here
might have been a
Los Angeles.
Volvo wagon in there too. I think.
Throw that in. Why
I was
not?
working on a wagon story,
Why
so
not?
I had to drive all the wagons.
Like the EX? V90? Is it the V90?
Yeah.
They still make the V90 wagon?
No, it's a V60 Polestar. It's the end of that one.
Yeah. That's a good car.
Yeah. It was
It's a nice car.
I like that.
Yeah. We were just doing Polestar was a sponsor of the road and track event we did. So I drove Polestar 3 a little bit. Which, man, those seats are nice.
Oh, I haven't driven it yet.
It's
it's like the EX90. It's the Polestar version of the big SUV, or no?
It's a 5-seater, not a 7-seater, not a 3-row.
Because it's got a real.
And the one we drove was the dynamic one, so it had the good tires, and it has quite the rear differential. It will rotate on throttle, which is a good thing because it will not rotate on braking.
Okay.
So you you have to drive it a little differently, but pretty fast, pretty fun, and a good stereo.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I hope they're doing okay.
Me too. We'll see what these tariffs do to them.
Disaster.
Right?
I was just in Hiroshima last week with Mazda. checking out some stuff that they are working on and some, and so there was a lot of conversation around tariffs and what people can expect, and of course everyone doesn't know what to
Everyone's
expect because
extremely confused.
Total lunacy.
We have a new government like every 6 hours. It's like, it's totally fine. This is normal.
Yeah.
This always happens right before huge economic crashes. It's crazy.
Not a surprise.
And what's funny is like this will go up tomorrow morning and be dated because I said that.
Possibly. Very much possible.
Exactly, yeah. Right.
Fucking
There'll have been like
crazy.
4 different things that will have come and gone.
Yeah.
And so a lot of manufacturers are just sort of like, all right, we're just going to pause shipments to the United States
Lotus
for
was
the next
all.
month. Well, Lotus,
Audi paused shipments of tens of thousands of cars. I think they have like 4 months of inventory in this country left.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
That's it. Who knows?
Yep. And who knows? That's the question. We'll see. But
Yeah, I've had a couple friends with new-ish Porsches who are getting phone calls from their dealers offering to buy their cars back for,
because they could probably sell them for even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Right. That's, supply chain, but like nothing. You know what I mean?
This is like COVID without the sneezing.
Yeah,
but nothing's
right.
actually wrong.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Someone's just like got you in a headlock and going, well, this is fun for me.
Right. Right. The whole world, though.
Buy the
Right.
dip.
The whole world, right.
Yeah.
Did you get to see the new upcoming Miata MX-5?
Folks, one more break because support for today's show comes from HelloFresh. I love HelloFresh for so many reasons. One, I learn to make new things that I might not have made otherwise without having to commit to buying big jars of spices and materials that are going to end up going to waste, right? Because I love cooking, right? HelloFresh is good if you love cooking or even if you like cooking or want to eat fresh meals, but you don't have a lot of time for shopping and you don't want to get into the unknowns with how long is this dinner going to take, right? HelloFresh is great because you don't have to figure out what's for dinner night after night anymore, especially on those busy weekdays. All you have to do is you set it up online before, they deliver you that fresh food, never frozen, really good vegetables in exactly the right proportions, okay? And then you just throw it all together, you cook it. Almost every meal they have can be cooked in 30 to 40 minutes from nothing. You're feeding your family, the cleanup is easy and quick, and you don't have as much waste because they send you exactly as much food as you need for those the number of people you select. And HelloFresh now has some new stuff. They've got ready-made meals. Go from your fridge to the fork in just 3 minutes. The same high-quality ingredients and restaurant-worthy flavor, just with zero of the work. Think lunch, people. And they've got the lineup of prep and bake meals. Come together with minimal mess and only 5 minutes of prep, so your oven does most of the work, not you. Then there's the 15-minute meals, done in just 3 simple steps so you can eat better this year without all the hassle. With all these options, you have no more excuses. And what happens is when I cook HelloFresh food, they have this beautiful recipe card they send you with easy instructions. I save that, and then if I'm having a party or something, it's a good recipe. I can multiply it and make it again from scratch, and then I seem like a genius for coming up with a new dish. Just don't even tell them it's HelloFresh. It's great. Now you can get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com / and I'm sorry for this one, Smoking Tire 10FM. Again, I'm sorry for that code. That is a hard code. Ready? 1 box per item with active subscription. Okay? Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals at HelloFresh.com / Smoking Tire 10FM. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and thank you to them for sponsoring today's program.
Did you get to see the new upcoming Miata MX-5 by chance? Or
I
rumors of
mean,
it?
they showed us the iconic SP concept, which is sort of directional for maybe whatever their new sports cars are. So sort of, it looks like it's sort of in between, RX-7 size and Miata size, but I think directionally it's sort of pushing in that direction. So yeah, there's a lot of conversation around what that might be, and we're meeting with the head of design, and he was sort of like, every time you ask a question, he would be like, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right?
I always thought when they got rid of the RX-8. I always thought they should have kept the platform and turned it into a convertible, a 2+2 convertible that was essentially a bigger Miata with maybe a turbocharged 4-cylinder or something like that.
Yeah.
Something better than a fucking Rotary. I said it. I said it. Better.
There was a lot of conversation around rotary power, which they're still working on, and they're still promising it's going to be the next big revolution or whatever. At one point,
when I see it.
Yeah, at one point the CFO, I was interviewing him, and we were talking about sort of their future electrification strategy, blah blah blah. And he was saying sort of something to the effect of, well, we could combine a rotary-powered generator with biofuel.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you're taking like a fantasy fuel source and a fantasy powertrain doesn't equal a reality, right? I just want to point this out to you.
A LG-powered perpetual motion Tesla coil, then it would be good.
Yeah. If humans could eat feces, then there would be no problem with world hunger.
I think I could run a car on popcorn. I mean, like, how hard could it be? There's no problem.
But they're still at it with the rotary thing. So
yeah.
I mean, I have to give them credit.
A rotary generator makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No torque, high revs, very smooth.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah.
But like, so does like a fucking mini turbine. Right. If that's what we want. I mean, and I don't really know if what you want is a thing that spins.
Yeah.
Is a rotary any better than a literal turbine?
Right. I don't know. Yeah. Or a windmill.
Yeah, or like or like a actual like a cylinder combustion engine. What makes the best generator? I don't know.
That's a good question. We'll have to get generator Brian on here.
Yeah. Well, speaking of generator, good callback. Okay. I bet someone knows though. I bet someone is the type of an electrical engineer or something, and who listens to this show and will be able to tell us with like pretty certainty what type of motor would make the best generator.
Yeah, I guess there's questions about, and this is the struggle that they've been going through with the Rotary, right? Sort of like emissions and size, and so it's small, compact, and lightweight, but it's hard for it to meet our emission standards, and obviously there's all sorts of other issues with Rotary engines. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Burns a lot of oil.
Yeah.
Burns oil.
And fuel.
Right. Yeah.
But otherwise, great.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like,
Another great invention from a Nazi.
I got a little convinced. Like I said,
one of many.
I sat next to Rob Dahm at dinner once, and he basically showing me his dyno graphs and things, like convinced me. I get the cool attribute of being able to bolt endless rotors together and build power is rad.
Yeah.
That is cool. And the dynograph was amazing, but like all of these negatives with it are really strong.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting a weird car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I myself am 50% into purchasing an airplane-powered car.
Oh, wow.
And I'm excited as fucking hell about it.
You're becoming Jay Leno.
Dude, after a while,
I guess
even
you gotta
like
get weird
pretty
shit, right?
weird cars become normal, and you start to go, how weird does this get?
Yeah.
And the answer is radials. Radials is where it gets.
What is the vehicle?
Myers-Manx.
Oh.
Brand new Myers-Manx with a radial engine.
Oh.
That's
do
fucking nuts.
they all have radial engines?
No, it's a special top of the thing. But they acquired a company in Australia that designed radial engines, and they made it better, and now they're putting them in Myers-Manxes.
Wow.
Yeah. And you have to, why don't we have there, if you scroll down, there's a photo of it from the back. That's it. Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
tell me that's not fucking awesome, right? So yeah, that's pretty crazy. If you want a car where to show off your weird engine,
right?
Hey, Manx makes perfect sense. You can see it all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
And
I guess that's the idea.
And it sounds like a plane, which is another bonus that I'm very much into. So yeah, maybe a radial makes for a good generator.
Yeah,
I don't think probably not. It's not really any smoother or more powerful or better than like a V-shaped or inlet. It just looks fucking awesome. Besides that, like there's no real advantage.
It smaller and you can make it small and still be smooth, right? Because like a 3-cylinder is out of balance and it's pretty long. So if you go 4-cylinder, which is more balanced, it's a longer engine than a rotary. But the Rotary just has all these other issues.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out.
I was more thinking Rotary compared to like turbine, more so than Rotary compared to a cylinder engine. But yeah, someone, if you're out there, please tell us. Please let us know what the best. Oh, I read that article of yours about the touchscreens.
Oh, yeah.
Starting with the GMs and the Riattas and the Lagondas. Like, oh God, CRT touchscreen. Holy shit! Was it an Esquire? What was it? What was it?
There was a Car and Driver one.
Okay.
So we're doing this series that's on like components that are sort of unobtainium from cars from like the 90s and 2000s. And so that was the first
unrestorables.
Yeah. And there's people, out there that do this. You just have to find them. And there's a guy in like Ohio or something like that who's like, his mission is to save the touchscreen from Riattas. He's like Mr. Reatta. Like he owns like all of the new old stock of Riattas from all over the world. And he's got this guy who works with him who, will redo, I guess, the capacitors dry out. They have like real liquid in them or something like that.
Tubes and shit.
Look at it. I mean, it's crazy. That is the screen of your car. It's like a little Trinitron,
Dash.
Yeah, that's in this. And they were made by like either Panasonic or one of the Japanese TV companies or something like that. And so when it breaks, there's no choice.
You got to call Joe. It's like he's the only guy.
Yeah, and he's got like the the bench testing equipment that the Buick dealers use when these things are new.
Of course.
Yeah. And like he's obsessed with them. And there were like 3 different ones. There was like this one, and then there was another one as well that was in the right before.
Well, the Aston Martin Lagonda had one, and then the Riviera had one, and the Reatta had one. Yeah.
Does
So it
this
wasn't the first
person also have another job like similar? Are they?
I
are they,
think they're like an
chips
electrical engineer or
okay,
something
this
like that.
I was like, how big is this Reatta screen market?
Right, yeah.
I can't believe I'm talking about Riattas again. I just, on this road and track event, there was a guy on it. It was very nice.
And he had a Reatta?
He didn't bring it on the event. He was driving something else, but he started to tell me about this Reatta. And I was like, oh, that's a weird, fun car. Like, all right, cool. And then he started showing me photos of it to like prove that he had it. No, not even that it was like nice, just to prove that he. And I'm like, listen, I believed you. I believed you this whole time. Now I see the photo of it. I double believe you. Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, you go, okay, cool. He walks away. He comes back 10 minutes later. Listen, make me an offer on the Reatta. I go, I don't want that thing.
Right? Yeah.
Why do I want that? He goes, $1,000. You can take it home. And I go, oh wow, you really
imagine front-wheel drive RX-7, right? But bigger.
I think the Reatta is actually kind of a good-looking car.
I think it's a good-looking car too. But I do think it looks a lot like a FD RX-7.
Buick and Oldsmobile had like 2 years where they were on the verge.
Yeah, of like
and Cadillac too.
Yeah,
91, 92. Remember the look? I mean, that shit looks kind of dope.
Seriously, it's really clean.
Sure. Right? I think that's at Point Doom.
Right,
that's a Point Doom press.
It is.
Photo.
I know exactly that spot.
I shot a Pagani there 3 months ago.
We shot Ferraris there before.
I mean,
we drove
honestly,
them up to
that. Can we see? Did a design house do that, or did Buick do it?
They did. I think they did it in house.
They did because like Pininfarina did the Cadillac Alante.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, they may have had help.
If they did that inside Buick, that's a pretty successful design.
Yeah, like that bubble rear window.
Yeah,
like, it's a handsome car.
Like it's pretty. If you put a Trident on that and told me it was a Maserati, you'd go, yeah, okay, cool.
Right. Yeah. I think their plan was that it was going to be.
Wow. How about the production car looking better than the concept drawing? The concept drawing didn't do it. Justice,
the designer was David McIntosh.
All right.
Okay.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, I think it's
and also, do you remember the Oldsmobile Trofeo?
Oh, yeah.
That one, it had a real Euro body kit.
What was that one? Aurora? Was that the first generation Oldsmobile Aurora?
That was when they took the Oldsmobile badging off of everything.
Yeah.
You know what it was? The Oldsmobile Aurora, trivia, was launched in the movie Demolition Man.
Oh, wow.
The Oldsmobile 442 that they find at the end to save the day. First off, all the future cars are GM concept cars from that year.
Yeah.
They put the 442 in some kind of elevator, and it goes up and crashes through the floor of an Oldsmobile showroom. It's in a dealer. And the only other car is the brand new 1994 Aurora as a future car, and it kind of fits in.
Wow.
It looks like
Looks
they're concept
futuristic.
cars. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they were really, you got to give it to GM. They really try some weird ass shit. You know what I mean?
And they put that Aurora motor in the Shelby Series 1.
All right.
Carroll Shelby was like, Oldsmobile fuckers are
like
really
a
doing something.
Well, they had it was also
V8 or
developed
something
from
like
the
that,
Indy program even before that. But yeah, it was a good, decent block. It was a decent block.
That Olds Motors, big ass titties. Give me some more chili.
So yeah, the next one.
the Aurora. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Streamliner.
Yeah.
There's a touch of Volkswagen X1 in the front a little bit.
Oh well, yeah.
A little dash.
GM EV1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
EV1 for sure.
Yeah. But that shit was what every concept car looked like this the year before, and they were all in fucking Demolition Man. But man, in hindsight, does that look droopy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't it look a little melty?
The bench shape is tough.
There's none of these left.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw one?
Detroit.
Yeah.
If you want to see some GM shit that you have not seen on the road ever, looking like ass, you know what I mean? Like rusted to hell, no muffler, going like on the American Autobahn I-94. Going like 95 miles an hour and barely keeping up with traffic.
The back end just bounced, just full bounce.
Yeah,
no
like
shocks.
Holes through the rocker panels. Like you will see that in Detroit, or like the most perfect one that you've ever seen.
Right?
Also, like someone
0
who bought
miles
it off the line and like only drives it once a year.
We just went to a Radwood. There was a Radwood across the street from the racetrack we visited in Charlotte. And, and there was some. I still am surprised with the fucking 3-digit mile, nothing ass cars. Who saved a Dodge Shadow? Like, what are we doing?
I know. Well, yeah, someone had an idea that maybe it was going to be valuable, or they just loved it.
Look at this driver-focused cockpit.
Guys, listen, we got a lot. It's made of plastic, so we got to light it dim. You hear me?
That's true.
Keep that.
Make it
keep
one
it
color.
Moody.
But it's very like Saab, in that canted kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Dude, that fucking panel is so Saab 9.3.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's direct Saab 9.3 Yeah.
They might have been borrowing some Saab designers or something like that.
Probably
Is that before the acquisition? That was 95.
This was post-acquisition.
Yeah. I mean, they were probably working on it at the same time.
God, killing
They're like,
Saab.
wow, these interior drawings sure are nice.
Running that brand into the ground was very sad.
It was sad.
It sucks that small car companies can't exist.
Yeah, I was on a Volvo press trip in Gothenburg last year or something like that. It was just me and a couple of people. And we had sort of a free afternoon, and we were like, can we go to the Saab Museum?
And were they cool?
Yeah.
I guess
the PR person came.
Swedish pride.
Yeah,
Swedish pride.
exactly.
It's like, we're same team.
We drove like a vintage 850 wagon up to the Saab Museum. Nice. We got there just in time for opening, and we walked through it, and it was cool as hell. My brother and I have a 1972 Saab 95 wagon.
Really?
Yeah, that we're fixing up right now.
Cool.
To sell.
Where do you get parts for that?
Vermont. Yeah, right. there's a very robust, support group on the internet on
Does it run?
Net.
Is it?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got it out of Utah, and it's been in the shop. We found this great shop. It's in Michigan. Where he lives in way exurban Detroit. He works on old Swedish stuff, and they've been working on it. I think it's been there for 2 years. But we saw it when we were there.
Look at that.
So
That's
ours is like a goldenrod color.
Man,
so
is that a Swedish ass car?
It's a cool looking car. It's a 2-door, 7-passenger wagon.
Is it a 3-row?
Yeah, it's got a jump seat in the back.
Yeah,
wow.
backwards like Volvo style.
Yeah,
That's awesome. It's real cool looking.
Yeah, we've got the roof rack. We've got the right wheels. Yeah. Yeah, it's a neat. Ours doesn't have those headlights.
If you're on audio, do yourself a favor and look up what a Saab 95 wagon looks like.
You'll be surprised. No matter what you're thinking of, you'll be surprised.
Get around to the back view.
There you go.
This photo is at the Saratoga Auto Museum, which is a great auto museum if you find yourself in the Hudson Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely go to the Saratoga Auto Museum.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We've got the mud flaps.
That pretty much rules. One day, I'd love to have a Mint 900 Turbo.
Oh, yeah.
Preferably convertible.
Yeah.
I learned to drive stick on one of those.
Okay.
And it was
That's such a fun car.
Oh, it was the best. My friend's mom had bought one new, And, by the time we were in high school, it was, 8 years old, and it had been kind of turned into the sort of kick-around car when the parents got new cars. So they were cool, and they would let, all of us borrow it. We could just take it.
Yeah.
Like me, any one of my 10 friends, and they were immediately next door.
Right.
So I took it all the time.
Right, yeah.
And man, we loved that car.
Yeah.
Purple 900 turbo convertible.
Wow.
Oh, it was the best.
Yeah, my brother had a series of 900s. He never had a convertible, but he had turbos. And they're so much fun. I think Eddie drove Eddie Alterman and I went to high school together. I think Eddie had a Saab in high school.
He did. I think he did.
I think.
My dad had a 900 turbo automatic in '88. And it was a fucking awesome car.
Yeah.
All my friends inherited 9,000 turbo hand-me-downs from their parents, and then we never saw them again. When was the last? I saw one Radwood.
I saw one recently here, actually.
The white one at a car show?
No, it wasn't. It was just on the road.
Oh, there's one in L.A. that is perfect.
Yeah.
And it goes to a lot of car shows, and so I figured it was that one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a regular-ass 9,000 in forever.
Yeah, I saw a sedan. They made that notch.
The notch one.
Yeah. But I love the
they
love the
made a
bubble back
sedan
one.
and a hatch, and it was just literally a different trunk part. It was awesome.
It had a really weird C-pillar, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the sedan one was really strange.
It really looked awkward.
I think everyone I knew had the hatch.
Yeah.
The hatch was the
that was the one to
upgrade.
have, yeah.
I think all the turbos were hatches.
Oh, really?
I don't think you could get a turbo and a sedan. I
Okay.
think they were the sedan had the V6, the PRV, shit pile V6.
Yes. I had a Volvo wagon that had that engine in it. It was rough.
When you were on of any Volvo trips, did you go to any of that? Ever go to that museum they have, or that one of their clients has, that has all the Volvo race cars?
Oh, no. I mean, they have a huge heritage collection that has a bunch of race cars.
We went to this private collection on a Polestar S60 trip back in 2016.
Okay.
And it was 3 or 4 of those Walkinshaw wagons, and then a bunch of 242 rallies.
Yeah.
Every awesome Volvo ever.
Yeah,
was
they
in
have
there.
they have that stuff in their and a bunch of that stuff in their heritage collection as well as weird limousine. I drove a limousine, a limousine 245 or something like that. That they made for a while that was essentially sold to Eastern Bloc heads of state. I think they had to deal with Erich Honecker or something like that in East Germany, and that was where they all were. But it was actually
If you don't
kind
talk
of fun.
about that fun.
Yeah, it was very, very slow. It was like imagine a limousine that has no luxury. Right, it's not luxurious at all.
Yeah. That's like those 6-door airport Suburbans. That's pretty much what that is. One of our friends is up in Westlake and has a big car collection and a fucking big building to keep all his shit in. And for shits and giggles, they bought a 96 Lincoln Town Car stretch limo with a shag interior and a boot for $6,000.
Yeah.
And now they are in love with this thing. They
Really?
won't shut up about it. Yeah, they hire a guy to drive them around Beverly Hills and shit. It's hysterical.
Limousines, I like probably a lot of people look at Bring a Trailer pretty regularly, most mornings. And most mornings. And limousines always get a click from me. You know what I mean?
I
always
haven't
want to
seen
see
a limo
the inside
on
of a
Bring a
limousine.
Trailer in a while, man.
Yeah.
Just that awful one. Mark Zuckerberg had a Cayenne Turbo GTE turned into a, quote, minivan by West Coast Customs, but it's really a limo. And, imagine... Obviously, they haven't reprogrammed the rear steer for the 8 feet of extended wheelbase. Imagine the handling of this vehicle. I brought this up with someone at Porsche, and they were like, "Oh God, no! Please, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know that exists." Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose technically that is a van because it has a sliding door.
Right.
But yeah,
It's very limo-like.
All of the money.
Matt,
and
this
none.
has you.
Oh, okay. 80
yeah.
Here's the one on Bring a Trailer. Wow, that got $22,000. It's a 500 SEL. Yeah. We have to see what the inside looks like now.
Yeah,
Does
the
it have
inside is the exciting part. There's a Pullman. There's a 600 Pullman on there today.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, with
this
that went to
interior.
Japan.
This thing has a table in the middle with cup holders. Is that a TV on an arm?
Yeah, that's a TV, probably TV.
I think this is a cell phone. Yeah, because the cable hanging down.
The one today, the Pullman had a TV on a pole. It took the place of one of the rear-facing jump seats.
Oh, it's so funny.
You have to click to it.
Oh, I love this sentence. The odometer shows 88,000 miles. 20 of which have been added by the seller.
Not 20,000.
No, not 20. Just not 20,000. Yeah, that's key. Are there more interior pictures? That back seat is pretty epic.
Let me get down to just the main stuff.
I really like. But you know what? 22 grand.
Yeah,
good time.
that seems
that's
like
a good time.
you could have a lot of fun,
Yeah.
right? Hard to
And
park.
it looks like it's in very nice shape. I
Yeah.
mean, 88,000 miles for a Mercedes of this vintage is
Yeah.
not that many.
And a limousine, it's all been driven like to prom and back. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like stop and there's no highway miles on this thing.
We're going slow and fucking in the back. Oh, you got
Yeah.
trays that fold down from the
curtains,
doors.
though.
The slidey curtains.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could have an orgy in there for sure.
pretty elegant.
Ashtrays,
Right, checkerboard,
power
veneer.
seats. Yeah, it's all right. Ooh,
that.
the
Slide
slide
out.
out trays.
Shallowest of cup
And
holders.
get the Coke to you.
Yeah, that's like the cup holder on my Range Rover. It's like the other side. I have a 1990 Range Rover. It's like the inside of like the center console bin. There's like a flat spot there.
That's the my wife's Mitsubishi Delica. You have to open the armrest, and it's
Yeah.
on the underside of it.
It's like, who's this for?
Terrible design.
The back seat?
I can't have an armrest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look at that.
that may not have been a TV.
No, I
that
think
may have
that's
been
a
the
phone,
phone.
right, yeah.
The wall mount car phone.
That's
Well, and then
amazing.
look, this just random stove
for your
stowage thing.
magazines,
Stow and
maybe?
blow and
Your
go.
folders of things
Yeah,
and your
oh yeah, probably
papers.
documents. Probably locks. Yeah, I like that. Or for back issues.
Yeah,
of
we
Car
should all be
Driver.
buying limos.
Yeah, I think limos are kind of cool. They're
here's the
so
Pullman.
they're so silly, right?
A 600 Pullman.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Look at that.
Well, it's live. Ends in 6 days.
Yeah, it was just up this morning.
50,000. God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk
Look at
about, I would be terrified to own one of these.
Oh yeah, no, they're
This
so
is
complicated.
so nice.
They're so
Holy
complicated.
shit, that's great, though.
But look at scroll down and you'll see the TV. The TV is mounted where one of the rear facing
That's really funny.
jump seats is.
But that's like, this is like dream garage shit. You know, you kind of
Yeah.
have to have something like this.
Yeah.
That
I
is
like that it's all
classy.
corduroy.
Oh yeah,
Man,
it's
that's
cloth.
awesome.
Cloth interior.
This is
Cloth
gorgeous.
corduroy.
though.
Yeah, these things are so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like just empty your bank account. You know.
I don't know. Who yeah, I guess you have to take this to Mercedes Classic
Yeah.
Center.
Oh,
to get
there's
serviced.
here's a TV.
Yeah, there's the TV.
wow.
Yeah. Keep going, you'll see. It's hilarious.
I mean, that's
the way it's
just
mounted.
stuck behind
That's
the
a
It's on a
driver's
pole.
giant,
headrest.
a giant
It's on a
box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
there's like a fridge and beverage thing.
Dude, this is a fucking sick car. Though.
Yeah.
Gotta
Japan.
say, not a lot of legroom though, because if you have passengers there facing each other, your knees are
I always
interlocked.
worry about
People
that.
were
but-
smaller then.
Right.
They're not that small.
I would use that jump seat to me as a footrest. That is
Yeah,
not-
exactly.
Oh wow,
See
it's
the
on
TV
a
on the pole.
post.
Right, yeah.
Like you really undersold
Sorry.
how post
Yeah,
it was.
it's very post.
This looks like a mailbox that's mounted
Right.
behind the driver's seat.
You got to get a special kind of television for a car. You know what I mean?
Man, you got to trust those bolts.
and
if you're
that's a VHS player
Yeah, there's a
right
VHS
below
player
it.
in the
that.
in the wall.
It's
there.
a pop out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah. Yeah,
At least the
think
Pearlwood's
that,
good.
That one's gonna be expensive. But that other one.
Look at the
22
double
grand.
width headrest. That's one headrest that goes all the way across. That's awesome. Yeah. Man, they were doing it back then.
Yeah.
God, is that good?
Yeah.
That's, wow, a lot of controls in that tiny little TV.
Well, you gotta
Superb.
It's VCR
lots of
controls,
things to
right?
And it's
adjust,
got
yeah.
that like Crown Royal bag cable holder below it. It's fucking
You don't want to see all that stuff.
Wow.
Hide the innards.
Is that what is I mean, what do you hope to find on a daily bring a trailer browse?
I don't know.
What stop?
I
So
think
Pullman
there's, like,
stops
there
you.
could-
What else
there
stops
could-
you?
Limousines. I don't know. It's like a journey into the subconscious. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I never knew that I liked a 58 Cadillac. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like a weird Ford hot rod build. or
Isn't
something.
it crazy that how that can happen?
Yeah.
Where there are even for someone so experienced that there's a car that you could go your whole life. You knew that car existed.
Yeah.
But then you see one somewhere, and all of a sudden,
Yeah. You're like, oh, now I got to
That's-
go down a path of figuring out everything
Yeah.
about this car.
if you told me last July
Right.
that I would be purchasing a Myers Manx,
Yeah.
any Myers Manx, I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, those are cool, but that's not like, that's not, why would I, what am I going to do with that? And then I saw it at Quail, and I went, oh my God, I have to. And it was like they actually were prepared to take my credit card right there, which is a crazy thing.
Right. Yeah.
And then I was like, no, hang on.
There's still a lot of cars at
my wife,
Pebble.
who is not, she's like, she's in. She was in, but she was like, listen. You are not swiping that amount of money 3 champagnes at the Quail. That's what they want
Only
you to
3,
do.
right?
That's what they. It was like 11 a.m. I was like, I just
right.
got there. She's like, this is no. We'll call them tomorrow. They'll still have the credit card machine.
Yeah, I think so, and they'll probably still have another Myers Manx to sell you. We did a story. It was years ago. Stuart Shore from Jaguar. Mm-hmm. He, growing up, his dad was a big car automotive journalist, right? Marty Shore. And growing up, he had a bed that he'd always been told was made by Bruce Myers. That it was, it was from his fiberglass industry.
Okay. Was it like a car bed?
Yeah, it looked like
a car bed.
Yeah, it looked like a McLaren kind of, like a McLaren race car.
Yeah, like a Can-Am car.
Yeah, exactly.
I can picture the car bed.
Yeah. And so, we did all this research, and I ended up talking to Bruce about the whole thing because it was like everything, like he made it and then like everyone knocked him off, did knockoffs, and then he went out of business. And so he made this thing, and then everyone else made knockoff versions of it that were cheaper, and he went out of business. But he was trying.
So do you think Stewart's was legit?
It was real. Yeah,
Stewart's
it was a legit one.
Yeah, okay.
He had pictures of it. And we found all this research, and then Bruce
That's
was like,
awesome.
he was like, once he had the fiberglass manufacturing plant, he was like trying to figure out things to make with fiberglass. So it was like bed liners and like hot tub inserts, and then this bed thing happened.
He was
for a
such
while.
an interesting guy. I love learning about him.
Totally fascinating interview.
And what's cool about Myers Manx is that like, even though there are a lot of quote knockoffs, like. They welcome those people to club events. They're not like, ew. It's like, oh, you got a different brand one? Like, whatever. Come on down. Like,
come on, drive on the sand.
Yeah. It's they're a good time. I'm very excited.
I have never driven one.
Well, so they have their demo radial, the one in that photo, which I drove for Road and Track, and I've done some miles on. So if you go to Costa Mesa, you can drive it.
Okay.
They also have some of their vintage ones.
Okay.
They also have like the new vintage style ones, and they have some actual vintage. They have a bunch of cool shit down there.
Yeah.
They with the company came the collection.
Okay,
so
I was going to say they bought the whole thing.
everything. So they have some really cool stuff.
They're making it with like a bunch of different powertrains. Is there an electric one too, or something?
There's the Manx 2.0, which is the full electric. It's all new. It looks vaguely like an old one, but it's a whole new thing. And then there's the classic Manx. So they've updated the tub. It looks like the old one, but it's reinforced in better places. They've updated a bunch of things and made it better and built better to assemble, better to drive, better paint, better everything. Because Freeman's running the joint now, Freeman Thomas, and he like really gives a shit. They have like new chassis stuff, new gearbox stuff. So the cars that they're building now are much better cars than what they were doing back then. So I was stoked. Once I drove it, I was like, oh, this actually drives like great. This is fine. Yeah. So it's fast.
And what's the motor in that one?
In the radial?
In the classic
Oh,
one.
in the classic? They have like 4 or 5 different flat fours.
Okay.
You can get anything from like a 1.2, Volkswagen Beetle engine.
Yeah.
They've got like a 2.4 like Will Hoyt fucking nasty, 356 racing engine.
Yeah.
That's like $40,000.
Okay.
And someone's getting that. And do you know Road Scholars in North Carolina? The Ingrams. So the Ingrams had one built with a 356 Carrera 4-cam engine, one of those like $300,000 engines. So they did one that was like called like Myers Manx Carrera GT or something. That was really cool. So like Phillip and Manx are basically like, if you want to put a weird engine in something, like come on down. Like we have your back. So people are apparently showing up with all kinds of weird motors that they want to put in Myers Manx's.
Oh, you can just bring your own motor?
Well, I mean, you can work with them, but but like if
or if you have an idea,
in the instance of the Ingram one, there it is. Second that one, it looks Myers Manx Carrera GT, the Furman 4-cam powered dune buggy, dude. And this thing is I really like those lower fog lights. I may do that on mine. Maybe yellow, maybe a little French market.
It makes a whole. I mean, this car's sitting pretty low too, which looks cool.
This is the same stance as mine will be.
Oh, nice.
They have two heights: the sand height and the tarmac height.
These can be.
This is road
very
legal.
Fast.
It is.
You can drive it, not just like a 25 miles an hour.
No, registered. It's they're pre-76 Beetles.
Oh.
So they have all the pans and all the VINs and all the everything.
Oh, wow.
And you're buying a restored Beetle. Can you find is there a photo of the engine?
Yours
in
like
here?
metallic,
we got a paywall
purple metallic flake.
Paywall. Wah wah. It is it's called Stratospheric Blue Metallic.
Okay.
And it is a brilliant, bright blue, like a sky blue, with like bass boat flake.
Yeah. That's what I was imagining.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
With a tan, like a camel leather, with almost like a Mexican blanket insert. Very beachy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And that Porsche style, vintage Porsche style carpeting in like a light gray. Here's the Carrera
So
GT
Cam
one.
he went very racy.
He went racing.
Yeah.
He cut speed holes and
everything.
he got speed holes and everything. He did really buckety seats. They have a hard top. This one has this fiberglass hard top on it. This one they might have made in carbon. I couldn't get in and out of the fucking thing with this hard top on. It was really tough to crawl in and out of. So we're doing a Bimini that comes off like real easy. There's the engine. Go back to the engine. Yeah. So you can actually tell that it looks different. That's
sick.
A
lot of motor.
Yeah, it's so fucking sick.
These buggies, a friend of mine was a VW tech, and him and his boss used to autocross race an old Volkswagen buggy, but with like a hot rod engine. The thing would do wheelies off the line and do 0 to 60 in like 1.9 to 2.
No way.
For real.
That's terrifying.
For real. It was extremely. I mean, they weigh nothing.
Yeah.
So all suspension geometry and the weight bias is a little weird, but they can go.
Yeah.
It's just physics. So this thing will be exciting.
I can't wait. So you should. I mean, sooner rather than later, give them a call.
Okay.
And go drive what they've got.
Try it out. Where are you going to drive yours? Wherever.
I don't know. I have yet to really think about this problem.
Oh, okay,
it's
right.
more like
It was an impulse purchase.
No, I mean like it'll be fun because like I do a lot of slow driving around here, and I don't want to take the fast cars. Like, actually, I liked my Ferrari 328 because it was fun at slow.
Yeah.
And like Porsche, not fun at slow. It's fun at fast.
Yeah.
And so like this will be fun at slow. So,
Right.
like, all right, cool, whatever. And hopefully it'll be rad and it'll be weird and we'll play and.
It seems like it's going to be enjoyable.
I'm putting together a plan to bring it to Pebble.
Okay.
To have it to cruise to roll around Pebble.
Okay.
I've talked to Calvin at Porsche. And we're discussing the tow ratings of the Cayenne hybrids because I don't want to drive it to Pebble and it won't hold all my shit anyway.
Yeah,
So
you have to ship everything.
So I don't want to ship everything. So I feel like what's better than having an aircraft powered Myers Manx at Pebble. Having a Cayenne also just in case.
Yeah.
So I think
that's a car that requires another vehicle.
It kind of does, but that's okay.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
But it would be so fun.
So you tow it up there.
Tow it up there.
Drive it around as your like Pebble car.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get a ride. I'll get a ride in it then. If not, if
And
I
I'm
don't get one
trying
before.
to like poke Freeman like lightly that they use it on the stand at the Quail. They have a stand. They need a car.
Oh, yeah.
Might as
Why
well be
not?
mine.
Yeah, rent
I'm,
it from
I'm
you.
paying my
Right.
own way to get it up there anyway. Provenance. Let's go.
Provenance.
I just want that little plaque that says from the collection of Mr. Matt Farah.
Yeah,
You know.
you need that.
I need it.
You need
Gotta
that.
hang
And
that
you,
shit on the wall.
this car was at the Quail.
When we put the $1 Million Lexus in the Peterson Museum, they
Right.
gave me a plaque that said from the Matt Farah collection. And I was like, thanks, guys.
Do you have a plaque in all of your cars?
I keep them in there just in case.
Yeah.
I pull it out. It's like one of those wet floor signs, except it says, that it's one out of this many built.
Right.
And God. We went to across the street from that racetrack in Charlotte. They do a thing called the Auto Fair inside Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is essentially the same thing as like the Pomona swap meet here.
Okay.
It's a huge swap meet, car show, shit show.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Elvis show.
There was an Elvis impersonator contest.
Yeah.
It was the regional contest. This is important because that means there's
it was
it's
a
feeder
qualifier.
series.
It was a
Yeah.
These were people that had made it up from the
Yes,
local
that
districts.
entertained me to no end.
Yeah.
There's a whole. Is there a national?
I think there is.
There
I mean,
is.
and these dudes are all pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they can sing and stuff, but
And
it's
does
just
everyone
so funny.
do Fat Elvis, or do some people do Young Elvis?
They all do sequin Elvis.
Vegas
so
Elvis.
no one's doing
Yeah.
black leather jacket
Yeah.
Elvis. No one's doing army Elvis.
Oh yeah, no one in the age range that is going to be doing Elvis is
No
going to be
aloha-
doing
no aloha
young
Elvis.
Elvis. I don't think. Although who knows? Kids discover all sorts of shit on TikTok these days.
Right?
That's true.
And all of a sudden,
Have
there's
you
a
guys
trend.
heard this hound dog thing?
Right. This is crazy. Who was this guy?
Look at his hips. Oh my god.
The Patreon have anything
Yeah.
for us? We have a lot of backup from the people because we were traveling a lot, and boy, do the Patreons have a lot to say. Of course, if you want to ask questions on the program, if you want to get the show early, if you want to get the show ad-free, if you want to get extra show, patreon.com/The Smoking Tire Podcast is where you do it. And before we do that, we have another one. I've been soliciting, and I'll continue to solicit from people, personal stories of shrinkflation. I'm going to make sure people understand that, like, yes, inflation is bad, but also corporations are using it to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they know you can't tell the difference. So we have had a couple of very good stories of shrinkflating shit.
Okay.
And this one's good. I'm not going to use their name, but my wife has worked at Nestle, Oatly, and several other brands that create snack foods. Okay, as a project engineer and processing engineer. She has worked on many shrinkflation projects. But when I asked her, she said, it's not, quote, shrinkflation, it's remaining competitive in the market. Yikes. So the company spins it well to the project team. She's had stories of it from snack packing to beverage carton size and others. The most shocking was cheapening up a Slim Jim. The Slim Jim meat stick is sold based on length, so they couldn't just shorten it. Instead, they reformulated it to use more poultry and soy rather than beef and pork, which is more expensive, and they didn't tell anybody. Please don't use my name.
Wow, it's hard to imagine that they could find cheaper meat. To
Not
put in
the
a
Slim Jim.
Like,
It's the Slim
squirrel.
Jim is sacred.
We made it.
Well, then the
two-thirds
bird flu
squirrel.
happened, and the Slim Jim, office was like, shit,
God
too
damn, we
much
should
chicken.
Never put that chicken in there.
Get the beef back
more
in there.
soy.
So if
More soy.
you've got experience with someone making you shrinkflate anything, please tell us, because fuck these people.
Yeah. So there's shrinkflation in the automotive sphere.
Getting less for more. I
Yeah.
mean, well, there's some fun examples of that, like Porsche is like lingerie, where they charge you more for less.
Yeah.
You know, those doorless
Right.
fabric straps.
Yeah. Right.
Stuff like
That's
that.
a $3,000 option.
I feel like subscription model
Yeah,
stuff.
that's subscription.
Like,
yeah.
Like Sarah, my wife bought a new RAV4 last year, and now the subscription for the app where you can start the car and remotely is
run out.
lapsed after
Yeah.
a year.
So you got to sign up
subscribe.
for $9.99 a month or whatever it is.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
they give you that first year trial, you kind of forget about it as a cost with the purchase, and
Right.
then you just feel like that came with the car.
Right.
Except,
Yeah, it
not
didn't.
really.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
going to turn it off if you don't pay don't pay.
Yeah. Prashant says, Brett, what's your favorite boring car on sale today?
Boring car.
Yeah,
I mean,
what's your favorite boring 12-cylinder, Brett?
I was gonna say like the Mercedes E-Class. Does that count as a boring car?
Yeah, that is a boring
Yeah.
car, but it's a nice
Yeah,
car.
just a basic. I drove like a base E-Class sedan recently. And there's not that many sedans anymore.
Yeah.
and it was just really, really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it felt, I feel like it hadn't felt that nice, the E-Class, in recent generations or whatever. I feel like they really put some effort into making it like a proper Mercedes luxury car. Like it felt super solid. Like it looks clean, and it looks, it performed adequately. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Yeah.
like super fast or anything like that, but it just really relaxed me. So that was a good one. But, I'm also a big fan of the current Honda Accord, which, it's just, that middle section that's so competitive of the market. Like, everyone really, really works hard incrementally to make things better. And I think Honda just has nailed that category. So I don't know. Maybe that's a more boring example.
Equally boring.
Yeah.
You're right about that, about the mid-size sedan being like, how do you differentiate? How do that's a really competitive market. Doing well there is a move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means you're really trying. And maybe it's not the same anymore. Maybe they try harder because not as many people buy sedans. I don't drive a lot of mid-size SUVs, so I'm not really sure. But it just doesn't seem like the same attention goes into those vehicles.
I haven't had people ask me about a regular sedan in a while.
Yeah.
It's either a mid-size crossover
Yeah.
or an EV or a sports car.
Yep.
That's not a good sample size. I'm sure people ask other people about sports cars.
No, but I get asked about cars all the time by people that don't care about cars, you know what I mean? That just want something that works. And I don't get a lot of requests around sedans anymore.
Frozen Dingleberry Metallic. How do you think President Fascist's tariffs will affect the American car market? So what do we think about the tariffs? My hypothesis is it was actually a strong-arm mob tactic not to actually go through with the tariffs, but to bully these other countries into coming individually and asking for specific exemptions for them or specific exemptions for their industries, and then he's got something over them. It's literally, I need you to come beg to me. It's like he just did with Zelensky, and like he's done with every fucking thing else. Fire everybody and then make them beg you for the thing back, and then if you give it, you own them. It's just mob shit.
Yeah. No, that's what it seems like for sure. But obviously it creates an immense amount of mayhem.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with, global production.
Dude,
and
global car supply chains. You can't just be like, undo,
Imagine how many phone calls that is of people that have to go to him to ask for these kinds of exemptions. Like, even if it's just countries, that's a lot.
Right, yeah. Each country, right? No, it's absolute lunacy. So, it's already having an impact, right? Like, automakers are pausing their deliveries, they're pausing manufacturing, and no one really knows what's going to happen. And from one day to the next, I was saying I was in Hiroshima, and we were talking about tariffs, and it was like from one day to the next, people don't know, what's going on. And then, once anything does get resolved, how long does it take for that to go down the chain to the people at the port? You know what I mean? That are dealing. It's like, well,
there's a story that at the port, nobody was collecting the tariffs,
right?
Which how do they even know what to do?
Exactly. And if it changes from day to day, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, it's okay. You know, French cars are fine. Not that we're really importing a lot of French cars.
Our friend Brian, who works at Top Rank Importers down in Garden Grove or wherever they are here in LA. Somewhere in LA, and they import Japanese stuff. Yeah. And his Instagram the last few days has been fucking crazy because it's part 44 of what is the tariff on a Skyline. Literally, he's going to offices, banging on doors, and standing around until someone answers, and no one has
an answer.
Anything.
Right, yeah.
And he's and I'm now on my 17th different department to find out what the tariff is on an imported 25-year-old car.
Right. And
nobody knows.
Maybe there's not a tariff on old cars, but there are on parts. You know what I mean? It's all.
I'm going to show you something, and I don't want to speculate too much on it meaning anything. I'm just presenting a graph. Okay?
We're just asking questions.
Presenting a graph. So
Trump coin.
On April 9th, when the tariff pause was announced, Trump coin went up from 0.0001 to 0.0003. It just went up by 3x.
Yeah. So are you suggesting a pump and dump?
I don't know what that
Or
is. I just think that's very interesting.
Just a pump. Just a pump. There's, maybe not a
I think it's
dump.
unless it correlates.
you have
if it
insider
correlates-
trading, I
if it
think is
correlates
what
to
it's
that
called.
financial
then that's
stake
different,
in
but-
like the global economy.
Yeah. The new
personally.
the new CoffeeZilla video today was all about fucking government insider.
This is like free exemption with purchase of sandwich. I don't know.
free,
Speculation again. But
free insider trading with purchase of government.
that
Right.
that is very interesting.
So yeah, it's all bad. Good question says, in modern vehicles, which infotainment center stack have you found to have the best screen-off experience where you can still control the climate control and the radio through hard buttons without the screen on?
Let's see.
The Bentleys, if
Yeah.
you make the screen flip away like James
Right.
Bond, you can still do climate control. That's a hard button.
Same with
and you can do
Astons.
radio through the gauge cluster.
Oh, yeah.
With a scrolly wheel.
Yeah.
Astons too.
Aston's 2. I'm trying to think what else has that capacity. The Ineos Grenadier has hard controls for climate and volume. The Lamborghini does not.
The Cadillac Blackwings have hard buttons.
Does a Forerunner still have that? And the Tacoma
Yeah.
stuff?
It probably.
Yeah.
Volkswagen doesn't, obviously, much to everyone's
I
chagrin.
just drove something else that had the no rear window buttons too.
Oh, yeah.
It stinks. What
Who
did I
else
just
has it?
drive that?
I
had
think
that?
it's a Volvo.
Oh, it was
Volvo
the
went to
Polestar.
it.
It was the Polestar
Polestar,
3. Yeah.
Volvo and Polestar went to it.
Yeah. Nothing beats that OG Saab where it just only the speedometer and everything
exactly.
else. God, is that
night
great.
panel.
Born from jets, indeed. I say pork roll says, how do you get in the best headspace for writing, and do these methods change based on where you are?
I am kind of I'm a busy freelancer, so I have to kind of be, the way I succeed in making a living is I'm kind of a writing machine. So I can literally write anywhere. And if I need to write, like I was with Hannah Elliott recently, we had a drink, and she was like, I remember you like sitting in the Bentley lounge at the Geneva Auto Show. You were having champagne, and I asked you what you were doing, and you were typing on your phone, and you were finishing a story. So I was just
Can
like,
you write a story on your phone?
Yeah, I was finishing up a story on my phone. It was like some of it was pre-written, and then I'd done an interview, and I was like filling in the quotes or something like that. So
Do you do voice to text?
no, I can't write with voice to text. So one of my favorite places to work though is on like a long distance flight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really
I
like
like that.
working
I
on-
like that.
I really
too.
like working
Yeah.
on the plane.
But
I got a lot done.
I cannot sit there and type on my phone. I
Yeah,
need
it's
a keyboard.
it's not my regular way of doing it, but if I have
can
to do
like
it, I'll do it.
add dust at the end.
Yeah.
Like I did
Yeah.
that with the truck jumping thing, because it was like I was laying in bed and I thought of something and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, dig, 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 dig.
Right.
But I couldn't write
typos,
paragraphs.
yeah.
It'd be hard.
I definitely have written stories on my phone. So I think
Do you, when you travel, do you do laptop or iPad with keyboard?
laptop.
Laptop.
Yeah.
Have you tried the iPad with keyboard?
I haven't.
I'm considering that.
Yeah, I've seen people doing it, and then I'm sort of like, is that just another thing that I have to carry then?
No,
You
I
know?
would carry it instead of a laptop. Yeah. The
Yeah.
only thing that prevents me from doing it now is you can't like dump footage off a bunch of cameras onto it the way you can with a
right,
laptop.
right.
So that
Yeah.
purpose is needed.
Yeah,
But
I feel like, considering all the other shit that's in my bag, like the weight of the laptop versus how many ounces I'm going to save by having an iPad and a keyboard in there,
I
probably isn't gonna
suppose
be a
that's
benefit.
true.
Do you want it, Matt, for the read, like being able to read on the iPad later, or do you just think it's lighter?
I think I want it for lighter, and I want it for, I think the versatility is a little more so than maybe an
screen.
iPad. Yeah, and like, I don't know. And like, basically, I don't need a new laptop
Yeah.
or a new desktop, but like but if I'm gonna get something, like I don't, you know what I mean? Do I need
Right.
that, or can I make do with that with a keyboard?
Right.
But I haven't really tried typing on those iPad keyboards.
I think they're
yet.
not as nice.
They're
You know
not,
what I mean?
right.
So that
Have
makes
you
a
ever hung out
difference.
with those mechanical keyboard nerds? Where they got like a $4,000 keyboard that's like handmade. It's like a clack, 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 clack. Sounds like a diesel just starting when you're typing. Very rewarding, though.
Yeah.
Someone just came out with, I think it was the world's most expensive mechanical keyboard.
Oh.
It was thousands and thousands of dollars.
Jeez,
and
there's
it
a
was
whole categories of gear that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, this is a deep, deep level of nerdery. But you do, I mean, people do, coders and engineers and writers.
Yeah.
You know, you're interacting with a keyboard
True.
a lot.
Yeah.
At one point, like I think right after college, I tried that split.
Oh, yeah, the split
the
one,
ergonomic
yeah.
one. And once you get on that train, that does work.
Yeah.
yeah.
I had some like bad carpal tunnel for a while, and I was trying one of those. And
Did you find the most expensive
I
mechanical
found
keyboard?
the top 25 most expensive, and they start at 10 grand.
Oh,
wow.
I didn't see a news story, but it's aluminum and it's gold plated.
It was the one, the one below it. I didn't see the gold-plated one. It was the one below it, the Sui President. I just saw on some website that's presented like almost like a chef's knife from Japan. It's like it's like milled.
Wow.
It doesn't look
terrible.
like much, but
No,
it's
it really doesn't.
Imagine
like a keyboard.
Yeah, but it's like everything's metal.
Yeah.
Clack, clack,
I don't like the clack clack. I like
Yeah,
the little
it'd be-
bounce feel on my new MacBook.
It might
It's-
be.
I
It
love
might be annoying for your neighbor on the plane.
Oh, you can't carry that. That's a desktop.
Oh, that's only for your desk.
Yeah, no, that's one of those things. You have a computer built around that.
Oh, okay.
Ties the room together.
That's for word processing. It's not for, Jim Kana says, are the AMG 43 Mercedes models now on the used market suspect for reliability or just boring? It seems like the M3 and S4 are regularly talked about as much better cars. I think you need to establish what an AMG 43 is compared to an S4 and an M3.
Yeah.
Different type of product.
True. Yeah. I don't feel like I can answer this question.
Okay, I think that it is an example
Yes.
of it's not shrinkflation, but it is shrinkflation adjacent because the 43
Yeah.
was the 400.
Right.
It was the C400 and
Yeah.
the E400 for years.
They've just brought AMG down one level.
Yeah,
to make
nobody
it more
wanted a
expensive.
400, so
Yeah.
they made it an AMG 43
Yeah.
and gave it like a little more power and better wheels.
Yeah.
And now it's an AMG product.
Yeah. Yeah.
An M3 is a true M product.
Right.
And that car compares to an M340.
Right.
More than an M3.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
They're extending those brands because they can make more money.
Yeah, the margins.
Yeah.
That's Germany's version of the Cadillac Escalade. You know?
Right, exactly.
They don't have a base pickup truck that they can just load it up, but they can put the rims and the body kits and the badging on anything you got.
Yep.
Yeah. Below average nerd. My nephew turned 15 a few months ago, has zero interest in learning to drive or getting his license. Wah, wah. Apparently, this is not unique in his school and seems to be a growing trend. What is the cause for this, and what do you see as the future of enthusiasts? I mean, there's some pretty obvious ones.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't need to go anywhere to see all of your friends because they're on the same social media apps as you are, then it makes it easier to not go places. And a lot of kids don't go anywhere at all, right? Like they stay in their rooms all the time, and their entire life is
digital.
It's digital.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it. Where would they go anyway?
Well, modern
Can't
driving.
afford anything outside anyway.
I mean, yeah, for me, like the freedom to leave my house and see my not only do we not have social media, I wasn't even allowed to have a phone in my bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
So like, leaving the house was very, very important for me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not so much for people now.
Yeah.
And also like, everyday driving sucks more now.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why if you live in a certain place, driving sucks and people wouldn't be excited about it. That makes sense. I was lucky enough that I grew of driving age in Westchester, New York, and Southern Connecticut, which has fabulous roads.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And they're well maintained enough where it's nice to drive. And so the driving was nice, and that drove that enthusiasm.
And you kind of needed a car to go
For
anywhere,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it. I think it's also, we've been on this, centuries-long trend toward an extension of childhood, right? Like if you think of 100 years ago or whatever, like, an 11 or 12-year-old might be working in a factory. And now, we don't have that. So we have moved the bar on sort of where adolescence ends.
that's
over
interesting,
the course
right.
of generations. But we haven't changed when the driving age is. You know what I mean? To match up with that.
That's so
it's
funny
still-
because we used to make adulthood start too soon. It was like go to the factory at age 10. And now it's like I'm 42 and I'm buying a collection of Nintendo controllers. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And there's this chart. Yeah, teens are spending from the Hill. I'm the Hill.
Well, the source was University of Michigan and San Diego State University.
Okay. All right. Teens are spending less FaceTime with friends. Weekly social outings have plummeted from to between 2.5 and 3 hours a week in the 90s to now under 2 hours for 12th grade students, and from 2.5 hours a week in the 90s to now 1.5 for 8th grade students. Yeah,
I think it was weekly outings, not hours.
weekly number of outings.
So,
Sorry,
yeah.
weekly number of outings.
You know, the 7,
Okay.
but it's all about access.
good at
and now
reading
we
charts.
can hang out playing video games
Yeah.
or texting.
But
And
it does definitely
supplants that.
add to a creation of sort of social anxiety.
Very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And now that in-person interaction, they're not like hanging out or fooling around or having sex at the same rates.
Yeah.
either.
True. Also true.
And
Really
cars
true.
are more expensive. I mean, generally, cars are
that's
more
a big
expensive.
part of it.
Yeah.
Even you can't get like a cheap used car. It's not like the wages for teen workers have not increased with
Yeah.
inflation,
Right.
or with shrinkflation or any other kind of inflation.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in a tough spot.
Yeah. It sucks. I do think, I mean, when I go to car events,
Yeah.
I do see young
Young people. Yeah.
So some of them are getting there.
Yeah.
It may just be in your area it's not happening. It may be that it's a smaller percentage than before.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in high school, everyone got their license, and most people got
a
cars
car.
because it was a thing.
Yeah.
Very few of those people got a car that was fun or modified it. You know, you were talking about 3 or 4 people in a graduating class of 100 owned what you might call an enthusiast car. Everyone else had a regular car.
Yeah.
So it's not like would have been 50 people and now it's 0.
Right.
It would have been 3 and now it's 0. You know?
And I'm typically surprised and delighted by it's just like driving around here. Obviously I spend most of my time in New York City. There's a lot of enthusiasm for cars, and even amongst young people. There's some kids that we rent the same place when we come out here in the wintertime every year. And the landlord told us this year that, like, starting in January, like, the kids on the street start asking, like, when are the car guys coming?
Oh,
you know
that's
what I
cool.
mean? And, like, I'll come out sometimes to open the car, and there'll be, like, kids hanging out. Actually, there were kids hanging out in front of the Revuelta the other day when
Can't
I
imagine
came out.
why.
Yeah.
I know. But, like, they come, they know from all around the neighborhood.
That's
This is
right.
where
My
we
house
park
too.
in front of this house. Yeah.
I let all the kids sit in my car.
Oh, of course. It's part of it's part of the job. I feel like, right?
Yeah.
We're ambassadors for the youth.
Okay, 2 more, and then we will get out of here because we have been out at 4:00. Perpetual Sigh Machine. I've owned my 2010 M3 for a year, and I'm moving it over one spot in my garage from daily driver to weekend fun car. I want to try a new experience, but I'm addicted to V8s. So I'm looking at a Mercedes CL, an Audi S8, maybe a Continental from Continental. Like a Lincoln Continental? Lincoln Continental's a twin-turbo V6, my friend.
Maybe
But-
Bentley.
Oh, a Bentley Continental V8. Yeah, Bentley Continental V8. Yeah, from there about. Any other suggestions for highly depreciated V8 money pits? I mean, SLs.
Yeah.
SLs have a floor, and they're well-made cars.
Yep. There's some Cadillac V8s from that era.
Oh, like North Stars?
No.
I'm going to throw out a curveball
Okay.
based on my last barber adventure, which was clearly quite a while ago based on my hair. Barber had a 2010 Chrysler 300, like SRT. He bought it for $5 or $6 grand before 2020.
Yeah.
This was a car, I think he said it was like 48 grand new.
Yeah, it was.
And he bought it for $5, and I was like, oh man, Dodge Stellantis, how's it run? He goes, 0 issues.
Yeah.
0 issues. I mean, those things are pretty
Those
fun.
are naturally
sound
aspirated
good,
V8,
sound cool.
8-speed gearbox.
Definitely lower on the curb appeal maybe than these.
Yeah, but you could get the
brands, but
Magnum, the wagon.
You get a
that would be
Magnum.
sick. That's like $22,000. Those
Magnum.
are
but I
still
mean, you
collectible.
know,
Or like a
That's true, that's a good
Hellcat.
point.
I mean, if you're looking at CLs and S8s, like a Hellcat's not a stretch. You could go there, or an old dude. The CTS V.
Yeah.
The one where it was an automatic only for like 2 years before it became the CT5.
Yeah.
Those are like super sleepers. They fly way under the radar.
Yeah.
True. That's a good
what I was
call.
thinking. Cadillac V8.
2010 Bentley GT, dude. There's a lot of Bentley specific shit that's going to be pricey.
Yeah, that's going to be expensive.
Yeah. Cadillac Control V. That's a funny username. A long-term professional goal for me is to work on vintage, high-end European sports cars. I keep hearing that less and less techs exist to fix cars like Miras and 959s, etc. How do I find those guys that are left and train with them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think, call around to shops in your area, you know what I mean, and see who's working there. There is a program that McPherson College does that's they do a BA in
like restoration,
automotive
right?
restoration,
Yeah.
And they place people.
Yeah.
So that could be a place to use as a resource to find out where these techs are.
Yeah, and I don't know where you're at, but it might be worth calling like the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center and asking them if they have a training program, or it's if you want to work on vintage Porsches, and assuming you're already some kind of a mechanic, maybe trying to get a job for a little while at a dealer. At least you could then go to the vintage shop and go, look, I have 2 years experience working on modern Porsches, and then they know you're not a moron.
Yeah.
Enthusiasm goes a long way, but if you're really working on $1 million cars, you're not going to hire somebody who's starting from zero.
Right.
You need to get to a baseline of experience where you can be
experience.
trusted around like really expensive shit. You know what I mean?
Unless you want to start at like the absolute sweeping floors level where they can mold you slowly to be very careful around things.
But even then, if you're not like a reasonably comfortable wrench, you're not gonna get from you need to get from sweeping floors to holding tools to turning wrenches. You need to be able to turn a wrench before you even start sweeping the floor.
Yeah, or go get a cert or something. But I would say also, if you're already a tech of some kind, follow shops that do the work you like. Like TLG recently had a bunch of posts on Instagram because they were hiring.
Yeah.
And so if you follow a shop you want to work for,
he's always trying to find good people.
and that's how they find a lot of people.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. That is excellent. Thanks for stopping by, Brett.
Oh my God! Thanks for having me.
90 minutes goes by fast as hell, doesn't it?
That's it. Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. You write for everybody. So you write for Road and Track. We have like a little dueling pianos thing happening in the next issue where I defend the Countach and Brett says it's overrated. Based on driving that silver anniversary car, right?
The one that Lamborghini
has.
pulled off the line and his own since new.
So that's a fun one. What else you got?
Let's see. I write for I write for Car and Driver. I'm working on a story for them right now about hilarious examples of automotive co-branding. So strange things that automakers have put their brand on.
When brand has gone onto car, or car has gone onto brand?
Car has gone onto brand, yeah. Because brand going onto cars, so there's a million examples.
Yeah, I was going to say,
fashion.
don't you come from my Nautica Villager?
I would never. I would never. But yeah, so like Bugatti Champagne and.
Didn't fucking Tesla do some tequila or some shit?
I don't write about Tesla.
Okay, all right, fine.
I'm still working on that. I'm working on a story for a Hollywood Reporter about who drives what in Hollywood. So it's sort of like looking at A-listers and what they're in. So we're assembling that one right now. What else have I got going?
Is any A-lister driving anything that's actually like really interesting?
Yeah, there's some stuff that's in there that's sort of like a surprise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So wait and see. What else am I working on right now? Did a story with Rob Report that's coming out this week. That's about a collaboration between Magnus Walker and Pininfarina.
Oh, I saw he was doing that. Yeah, cool.
It's kind of a livery for the
for the
Batista.
Batista.
Yeah.
So that happened. What else
right.
is in the works? Yeah. Anyway,
That's a good well-rounded spread you've got going on.
Got a
there.
bunch of
All
stuff
right.
going on.
But you can find your writing at your website.
And
That's the best place,
that's
right?
the best place to find it. Is
BrettBerk.com.
BrettBerk.com.
BERK.
Yeah.
BrettBerk.
2 T's.
Yeah.
BRETTBERK.
Find it all there. And
Yeah,
the
it's all
real
there.
Brett Berk on Instagram. Not that fake-ass bitch
Right.
Brett Berk.
But I'm not on
Is there a
Instagram
fake-
anymore.
Oh, you're not?
No, I got off after the election. I'm done with social media.
Good for you.
Probably a good idea.
Good for you.
It's been kind of relaxing, I have to say.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it's I just don't worry about it.
Cool. What are you going to do? I mean, listen, sometimes it's sunny in Russia also.
Right.
You know, thanks, everybody. We will be back probably tomorrow for the live people. I think we got to do one of them. And love you, patrons. Thank you for such great questions.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for stopping by, Brad.
Thanks for
See
having me.
all of you later.